Hello, YouTube. My name is Megumi Mary, the transgender gamer girl with a heart of gold and love for all things nerdy. For 3 years now, I have tried to put together a theme month about my favorite anime called Madoka Magica. I even got a shout out from the OutbackAl the first year I attempted this, and it still bugs me that after 3 turbulent years, I have yet to do a single Madoka Magica video. Parody reviews for the movie trilogy have been written, but due to another May filled with other things in my life drawing my attention, I will not be able to follow through on them this year. However, I can do a very simple video essay with minimal editing that talks about Madoka Magica and my biggest nitpick about how it is seen by others. Welcome to Critical Analysis, why Madoka Magica is not actually horror. So, this may seem like a weird thing to talk about, but in critical analysis, I tend to bring up unpopular opinions and defend my stance on this. While the title of this video is clearly for the clickbait, I must stress that this is all my interpretation of the franchise. I am well aware that one person's horror movie is another person's popcorn flick. So if you stand by Madoka Magica being a horror, then I respect that and simply wish to provide another viewpoint on the story you may find interesting. It also goes without saying, but massive spoilers for the entire series. I will also be discussing spoilers for Sailor Moon and Powerpuff Girls Z. Yes, there is an anime version of the Powerpuff Girls, and it is one of the campiest anime I have ever seen and enjoyed. So, if you've never heard of Madoka Magica, then oh my god, how did you even stumble across this video on a YouTube channel of a nobody who has been trying to be a YouTuber off and on for over a decade? Secondly, and more importantly, you are probably confused as hell about how anyone could consider something so cute as horror. Well, let me tell you as I give you this last moment to avoid spoilers before I start talking about it. Madoka Magica seems simple enough, your typical magical girl anime, or maho shoujo, in the vein of something like Sailor Moon. The first two episodes lead into a third episode twist that many, including a character of the series, lost their heads over. The mentor character Mami is tragically killed as a witch, the antagonist of the magical girls, bites her head off in one of the best anime plot twists ever. It is after this episode the tone of the series shifts into darker territory as many plot twists and character arcs paint a very bleak outcome for the girls, especially Madoka. So this is where most people draw comparisons to horror. And while I see that point of view, I also disagree. It is suspenseful and dark, but it is also the epitome of the maho shoujo genre as a whole. Most people are quick to dismiss the likes of Sailor Moon or Cardcaptor Sakura for being too cute and innocent, but this is merely surface level. Anyone who grew up with Sailor Moon knows that it is anything but innocent, as the series tackles many hard themes like sacrifice and death. In the original run in the US, the death of the Sailor Scouts was actually edited out at the end of the first season. Even the manga handles darker tones as Sailor Moon tries to commit a double suicide with the man she loves turned evil in the end of the first arc of the series. This is where Madoka Magica comes in. The first two episodes, while having some dark imagery, are for the most part cute and innocent, exactly what people expect from the genre. But then episode 3 rears its ugly head, or lack thereof, and provides in a single moment what many maho shoujo spend many episodes building to: the darker themes. In one moment, Madoka Magica goes from what people think about the genre on a surface level to how the genre actually is when you dive into it. While many would argue that the lack of action and world-threatening monsters make the magical girl genre weaker than a typical shonen, it is actually the main driving force of most maho shoujo conflict. It is incredibly common to have personal conflict at the center of a magical girl anime, as characters are faced with hard questions in life. More often than not, a major hindrance to the character is not the villain they fight, but their own personal demons. I have yet to see a magical girl anime where the main character is not willing to sacrifice themselves or something important to them for the sake of others. Even the single most innocent magical girl anime I have ever seen is not free of this trope. I'm about to get really obscure here, but who knows about Powerpuff Girls Z? You know, the one I mentioned I was going to have spoilers for? This anime is pure fluff. The most generic, surface level stuff. This show is probably what most people assume the genre as a whole to be, as it is very episodic Monster of the Week stories with massive camp. For the most part. My single favorite moments of this series are those rare instances where it tackles darker tones that come out of nowhere. While incredibly tame, Powerpuff Girls Z has a few moments that kinda got to me. One of the more notable ones being a story with Minako, the girl who transforms into rolling bubbles, has to face off with a monster who used to be the boy she had a crush on. She's even throwing herself in front of her friends to defend him despite him not being aware of anything. But this pales to a moment when him steals their weapons and creates unique attacks, with them leading to one of my favorite sequences of the series as Hyper Blossom comes up with a solution to use her own costume in an imaginative way, showing how these characters are forced to adapt in life or death moments. Which brings me back to Madoka Magica. The series' darker moments are seemingly on par with how most Maho Shoujo escalate their story, between the start and the end, leading to a tonal shift that comes across as pure whiplash. While the themes of the anime get really dark, it never hit the point of horror for me personally. If anything, the ending of the series proves my point, as all the dark themes and stories are all fed back into an incredibly satisfying conclusion, as Madoka does what most Maho Shoujo protagonists do and sacrifice themselves for the sake of others. Even Kyubey, the closest thing this series has to a villain, isn't actually malicious, but rather acting from a place of pure logic to prolong the life of the universe. While there is plenty more to cover on this topic, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. While I would encourage discussion in the comments below, I also ask for you to check out my webpage where I can elaborate further via a series of blogs if you desire. The link is in the description below, and there's actually two options for the URL. marytes.com or marytest.com, as well as megumimary.com or megumimary.com. Both of these links will lead you to my website. Here you can check out all my other projects, like my ongoing 27-book anthology on Wattpad. This one site is the best source for all my projects across the internet, so don't hesitate to check it out if you like my content. I have been Megumi Mary. Don't stop being awesome.